Welcome to Behaviour Bootcamp. I would imagine you're here because you are struggling in some way or form with your children's behaviour. Well, the good news is that the strategies that I'm going to go through in the next few videos are going to be able to help you with some of those issues. Now, the first thing I'd like to say is if you're considering that your child may have ADHD or might be on the autism spectrum or Asperger's, or you've spoken to your friend or your pal or your mate and they're saying, oh, you ought to go and get your child tested, before you do anything, try these strategies, because in the very worst scenario they will help. In the very best scenario, your child may well not have any kind of additional need, and these strategies are all that's needed. Do not immediately think the medical profession can sort my child. Okay? More often than not, that is not the case. More often than not, you are the key link, and something is missing in what you're doing. Now, if you can get used to that idea and cope with the notion that maybe my child hasn't got additional needs, maybe my child actually is poorly behaved, and maybe that is my responsibility to sort, then we may have something to start with that is very, very powerful, and that we can make some big differences and changes. So what I'm not saying is that your child hasn't got ADHD or autism. I don't know your child. Only a specialist can tell you that. But what I am saying is, do not default think, yes, that is what's causing my child's behavioural issues. It may well not be. It probably isn't. Okay, so before we get into this business of trying to provide some kind of excuse or a label, let's look at what we can do to try and minimise poor behaviour, to see whether or not we can actually sort things ourselves before we go and undertake the help of specialists, wasting their time and our children's time in failing to provide a label, which is basically just down to poor behaviour, poor parenting. Okay? If your child has autism, has additional needs, it will be quite obvious in many cases, not all, but in many cases. School are your friends here. They are used to working with children with additional needs. They will be able to help you to get the right treatment and the right course, the right action plan for your child, should your child genuinely have additional needs. But before we go too far into that, I would urge you to try these strategies to see whether or not these will make any kind of difference. Now, the fact of the matter is, the majority of children who are very poorly behaved, okay, it's something that's missing. It's something that we've done or not done, okay, that's caused that to happen. Children aren't biologically predisposed to just being really naughty. Okay, there is usually a reason why people behave in a certain way, and in the case of children, that reason is often their parents. This is reality. This is something we have to get our head around. Now, I'm not saying that your child doesn't come from an amazing home with lots and lots of love and most of the other things, if not all of the other things it needs. Okay, I'm not taking that away. I'm not calling you a bad parent. But what I am saying is that certain aspects of parenting might be better. And that's why you're here. That's what I want to help you with. Three things that we're going to cover, the three important factors here with parenting in any scenario, are attitude, consistency and accountability. Attitude of you and attitude of your child is what is key here. Consistency, consistent parenting, consistent routines. These are the things that children thrive on, and they're very important. We will talk a lot about consistency and how that is arguably the most important thing that we can provide for our children. And accountability. It's really important that you are honest and accountable for what has gone before and what is going to come ahead. Okay? Without that degree of honesty, we can't move forward. Okay? Now, assuming we have that, assuming we have accountability, aka honesty, we can probably deal with an awful lot of the issues that you may be facing. So in the next few videos, I'm going to explain a little bit more about attitude, consistency and accountability. And my hope and my belief is that you will be no different from the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of families that I've supported in the past that have affected a positive change through addressing those three things alone. So I'm going to ask you to check out the next few videos that I put up. Give them a like, give them a thumbs up, give them whatever give them whatever the hell you like, but do what I say consistently, honestly, and with passion, because you will make a massive change to your environment, to your children's lives, to your family's lives, if you stick with what I say. I'll see you next time. Please subscribe and keep parenting to the best of your ability. You're doing a good job in so many ways. Let's just work on those few ways where things could be better.